Why has Iran stopped the traffic in the Strait of Hormuz?
They want to attack us, they want to target us, so we have to defend ourselves.
They are punishing countries outside the region as well, like India, and like countries in South and East Asia.
The big problem that they've created now is the closure of the strait.
Ultimately, the main purpose of this exercise is, frankly, to prevent Iran from obtaining a nuclear weapon.
Whenever they've got involved in a war on behalf of somebody else, there isn't been just an altruistic purpose.
This is India's #1 news network, and you're watching News9, English news as it should be.
A devastating twin earthquake catastrophe in Venezuela raises a very troubling question. If disaster strikes, are Indian cities truly prepared? And then our second segment, where a young man who was stabbed to death inside Mumbai's Lifeline over a trivial argument about whether to keep the door open or shut. Are we becoming a society that loses its cool too quickly, too often? And a historic breakthrough from India. The country's first US FDA-approved antibiotic offers new hope in the global battle against deadly superbugs. Three big stories, three questions that affect us all. You're watching In Your Interest with me, Kabir Naqvi. First, the top headlines. The centre hikes the passport fee effective from the 1st of July. For a fresh passport or reissue of a passport with 36 pages has been fixed at rupees 2,500 under the normal category now. The Ram Janmabhoomi Trust files first FIR in the alleged theft donation case, FIR against 8 particular individuals. V.K. Pandian's wife, Sujata Raut Karthikeyan, joins the BJD, marking her formal entry into politics after a long bureaucratic career. Deadly quakes of magnitude 7.2 and 7.6 jolted Venezuela. Over 150 killed and nearly 1,000 people injured. Authorities warn the death toll could rise further. Well, first up on In Your Interest, we're focusing on the South American nation of Venezuela, which has been shattered by a rare and horrifying natural disaster. In the span of just 39 seconds, two massive earthquakes measuring magnitude 7.2 and 7.5 struck the country back to back. And the first happened near the town of San Felipe, about 160 kilometers west of the capital Caracas. And the second, even stronger at 7.5, hitting moments later near Yumare. The shaking lasted about 2 to 3 long minutes. Residents described it as endless. Buildings cracked and shed concrete. Multi-story residential units partially collapsed with furniture visible from the streets. And thick dust columns, they rose above the commercial areas as the buildings came tumbling down. People ran into the streets and refused to go back inside, afraid of what the next aftershock was going to bring. Nearly 20 aftershocks have been recorded since the main event. Acting President Delcy Rodriguez declared a state of emergency, announced the closure of Simon Bolivar International Airport due to severe damage, and suspended schools and non-essential services. She described the coastal state of La Guaira as a disaster zone. The U.S. Geological Survey, using predictive modeling, has put the probability of the death toll exceeding that of 10,000 people at over 40%. That figure is not confirmed, but it still signals the scale of what rescuers may be walking into now. Now, let us bring this closer to home, because this is what affects us. Because the geography here in India is not reassuring as well. The Indian plate is moving northeast and colliding with the Eurasian plate at around 5 centimeters each year. That might sound slow to you right now, but over millions of years, that pressure continues to build up, and it has built the Himalayas and loaded enormous stress into the rock beneath our feet. Stress that releases itself as earthquakes. The result is that nearly 59% of India's land area falls in earthquake-prone zones. And the Bureau of Indian Standards has recently updated its seismic map to reflect risks that were being underestimated for decades on end. The entire Himalayan arc, right from Jammu and Kashmir to Arunachal Pradesh, along with the northeast and the Kutch region of Gujarat and the Andaman Islands, sits in the highest risk zones. Delhi, which is home to over 30 million people, falls in Zone 4, classified as high damage risk. The capital sits near active fault lines and is built largely on soft alluvial soil that amplifies ground shaking. Mumbai, Chennai and Kolkata, they all fall in Zone 3, which is moderate risk. But moderate risk in a densely packed city is still a serious concern. A serious calamity could be on the cards. If an earthquake similar to the one that we witnessed in Venezuela strikes an Indian metro city, the consequences could be catastrophic. The biggest threat comes from building and them coming down. We know that many older structures and poorly built, unregulated apartments do not follow the earthquake-resistant guidelines. And given the dense population of our cities, a sudden collapse would instantly lead to high casualties, trapping thousands under the debris. Beyond the immediate collapse of our homes, our infrastructure could completely fail. Crucial roads, bridges, power grids, and the water pipelines would be severely disrupted. We would face a total transport and communication shutdown. And with the metro lines, railways, and the mobile networks going completely dark, that's the situation that we're essentially looking at. Of course, it's a grim picture. Not trying to strike fear or panic in the minds of the viewers, but just trying to paint a picture and a question that needs to be answered considering what we've seen in Venezuela, what we saw in Turkey, Syria just a couple of years back. The aftermath would trigger a severe economic shock, leaving millions displaced and dependent on, well, emergency relief support. And this brings us to our final defense, technology. Can real-time warning and the networks actually save us? See, the honest answer is that no technology on Earth can predict an earthquake in advance. We're still not there yet. While some advanced systems can send out alerts, they only buy a few seconds of notice after the fault lines have already ruptured. Right now, India does not have a nationwide public earthquake early warning system. The few warning systems that do exist, in fact, cover very small isolated regions and are not yet reliable enough for mass public broadcasting. We are left relying on strict building rules and rescue drills, but as Venezuela shows us, time is a luxury we might not have come a catastrophic earthquake. The big questions that we're trying to underscore and ask: how realistic is the possibility of a major earthquake hitting a city like, let's say, Delhi or Mumbai in the near future? And what kind of damage can we really expect? The preparation versus preparedness. And what are the biggest gaps in India's current earthquake preparedness, especially in terms of building safety, in terms of urban planning? Dr. Sushil Kumar Rohela, seismologist, former scientist and head geophysics, Wadia Institute of Himalayan Geology, who joins us on the broadcast here, and Dr. Naveen Kumar Bhatnagar, former DIG of the NDRF. Let's get the snowball rolling here, Dr. Kumar. You see, 59% of India's landmass falls under zones 3, 4 and 5, meaning moderate to severe seismic risk. I'm sure you've been tracking all those visuals that we're seeing out of Venezuela. What's the biggest takeaway here? What's the biggest learning lesson here? Because even as the rescue officers continue doing their work, and good Samaritans like they are, there are crucial takeaways that we need to learn because we've been given an opportunity. Time is a luxury, like I pointed out, that many won't have come a catastrophic earthquake like we've seen in Venezuela.
Yeah, a couple of months back, our government is very much aware. That's why the northern part, like Himachal region and the whole northern part, like Himachal, Uttarakhand, all these regions, the BIS, they have basically upgraded the seismic zone. Earlier, it was 4 and 5. Now they have divided into 5 and 6. That this is very major concern about that because of safety. Because according to seismic zones, our major structures like hospitals, our buildings, our schools,
Yeah.
our hospitals, the construction and dams mainly in the Himalayan region. There are several dams, like more than hundreds of dams are under planning and under constructions, and those some are still existing.
Yeah.
So the safety of that, whatever the in future, the safety will be according to seismic zone 6. All constructions, they are multifold, and they are lot of, like many institutions, they are working for the safety of this major earthquake regions like Himalaya. We have 4 major great earthquakes, more than 8 magnitude triggered in the past. Like that's why they have upgraded the seismic zoning. And
Dr.
as
Rohila,
well,
you know what experts say? Experts say that earthquakes don't really kill. It's the weak infrastructure that ends up killing people. Are we
That's
sitting
what I'm
ducks
telling you.
in our Indian metropolitans? What is our current status?
The current status is government is very much aware. In Uttarakhand, whatever the lot of buildings I see myself, they are putting they are structurally designed buildings, not like piled the buildings, not no concrete, no map or the structurally designed. But now they are taking care of that. The government is also taking very much care of that, I see. But I would like to say that all the things, government cannot do anything. The public, the public the involvement is also very important to check all the things. Because if some buildings of 6 story or 7 stories under constructions, so what material is there, what kind of things are there, we know very well that they need very much good check on them. That's, I think this is lacking, and this should be strong.
Okay. Okay. Fair enough. Let me bring in Dr. Bhatnagar here into the discussion. Dr. Bhatnagar, from the NDRF perspective, when an earthquake of this magnitude strikes, let's say, a dense urban center, let's say Delhi or Mumbai, the first 60 minutes are the most crucial when we're talking about rescue and rehabilitation. And when we talk about hundreds living in that balance of whether who's going to die, who's going to stay alive, compared to a decade ago, have we been able to upgrade our systems? Have we been able to upgrade our emergency response mechanisms?
Actually, it depends upon the survey and the area as well as the land situation of this particular zone. Especially, I will say, from the NCR side, Delhi NCR side.
Yeah.
So, maximum area is being constructed on the Yamuna bed. So, strong base is not there. And moreover, people were not ready, and they are not making the buildings as per Nation Building Code, as well as the experts are saying and suggesting that this type of building should make. But our people, they are not so serious about it, and they are not thinking. Even then, state governments are not thinking about it. I don't know why the people are not being pull up.
What needs to be done here, Dr. Bhatnagar? How do we educate the viewers? I mean, this is a platform. We're mounting up this segment exactly for that. Take it away. Tell the viewers what they should know, what should be a learning lesson that we should pick up from Venezuela.
Yes, you see the situation of Venezuela as well as the Japan also in the same time. There is no such big issue in Japan, but in Venezuela, more than 1 lakh people was affected about it. So, as far as my opinion and my view, that in the Delhi NCR, Mumbai Nagar Palika and Maha area and other places also are on the high risk. People are not giving any eye and ear of making the building in this earthquake prone area, and making the safety from this earthquake site. So they are making building like anything without thinking about their needs, their pillars, and all these things, and they are making
Fair enough.
their benefit.
Dr. Rohela, what's your assessment here? Because let's talk about the urban expansion that we're seeing, rapid urban expansion. Sometimes we might not be in zone 5 altogether. We might be in zone 3. But then a tremor might lead to a building collapsing or structures coming down. And in that setup, if it's an urban, densely populated area, the casualties are going to increase. So do you think Indian cities are more vulnerable, particularly to a major earthquake, because of the rapid urbanization, and we're not taking into account whether our buildings or structures are earthquake resistant?
Yeah, exactly, sir. Exactly. This should be actually what happened after, after the Uttarkashi earthquake of 1991 and Chamoli earthquake of 1999. Those were the even moderate earthquakes of magnitude 6.5 and 6.8. But after that, like government have learned a lot of lessons after that, because in Chamoli earthquake, several thousand people killed. And they have learned that because of the houses were made of without any structures. Now they are taking care of. I know that very well. In Uttarakhand, they are considering all the things like they are making the fourth Dham Yatra, and they are putting the many roads and cutting the mountains, and they are taking care of that. That they should not be unstable during the earthquakes. There should not be casualty, and houses also as well.
But are we not putting too much stress on our mountains? Now that you've spoken about the mountains and the Char Dham Yatra, not all of it, but those last, mile villages before the Dham Yatras actually began, like people were talking about Joshimath, the land subsidence, that everybody was started talking about, the cracks that came in Shimla homes, the cracks that came in Joshimath homes. All of that needs to be understood. Of course, that's a different ballgame altogether. You're talking about a different physical phenomena taking place. But I'm trying to understand Venezuela, that saw 2 massive earthquakes. These earthquakes were just 39 seconds apart. How rare is this doublet earthquake?
39 seconds is difference, but the Venezuela is Caribbean plate and the South American plate, both are colliding there. And it is on that plate, Caribbean, this Venezuela, on that. And this is a movement in those mega thrust. And that movement basically when the stress accumulated maybe at 2 pockets, and the first pocket when it released at 7.2 magnitude earthquake, and they triggered the second one also 7.5. That was very near, I think 13 kilometers apart of that. And they are very shallow also. At shallow level, at 2 places, the stress may be accumulated on this mega thrust. This is the major reason.
You see, Dr. Bhatnagar, with what we've learned from Venezuela, with what we've learned from Afghanistan, very recently Turkey, Syria, I mean, that was really horrific. Let's just hope and pray that we don't have as many victims, because of these Venezuelan earthquakes. The real test is not whether we can rescue the people, because of course the rescue mechanisms are in place and we will only be able to do however much we are actually having in terms of our capacity. But the actual test is going to be whether we can prevent mass casualties. How do we prevent this mass casualties? You gave us a little tidbit into that. Let's elaborate that a little bit more.
Yeah. So the mass casualty depend upon the situation and the quake this response, as well as it was experienced in the Venezuela. If the same thing happened here in India, so these mountains are very sorry.
That's okay.
Our mountains are sandy. And these mountains don't have the strong this build. So the water stagnation is there on the mountain. If such type of earthquake comes, so definitely the mountain will broken, and the lot of this thing will happen. The loss of life, building, and everything will go off. Especially the low-lying.
But Dr. Rohela is telling us that the governments have learned that we have learned from our past earthquakes. Wouldn't you think so, Dr. Bhatnagar?
Yeah. So definitely in the past experience we have, as far as from NDRF side, I can say we have a lot of experience and in this rescue operation. So our part is second. When this earthquake comes and make this havoc and devastating situations, so our role comes here. We have the latest equipments with us, technology with us, and we are successfully saved so many lives, not only in India as well as in other countries also, and we got the appreciation for that purpose. So anyhow, we are regularly in touch with all the departments. We are educating them. We are whenever any state government is asking, we are guiding them, and also we are keeping watch here because our honorable PM is our chairman, Mr. Modi. He is the chairman of NDMA and he is very serious about it. And mint to mint, he is guiding us and also asking the progress report that whatever task was given, whether it was made complete or not, what was the lacuna. So fund is no problem for us, and I can assure you that we can enough fund we can give to the state government for that purpose.
Well, that's a silver lining, a submission of hope that you presented for us, Dr. Bhatnagar. Dr. Rohila, you see, everybody wants earthquake prediction. Everybody wants it in real time. Today, we have technology for pretty much everything. So, what's stopping us from creating a technology that can tell us whether an earthquake is coming our way? The advancement in technology hasn't yet reached that particular pinnacle. Scientifically speaking, how reliable are these early warning systems that we have in isolated places across the country? I was reading a little bit about how Google warning helped a lot of people, lakhs of people in Venezuela as well. Of course, they give you precious seconds, but those precious seconds are also enough in these kind of situations. How reliable is it? Have we reached there yet in our own country?
No.
Yeah, it's there. In Uttarakhand also there is early warning system running by IIT Roorkee.
But what does early warning system really mean? I mean, how soon will it be able to tell me whether an earthquake is coming my way?
It depends on where is the epicenter, where is the hypocenter of that earthquake, how much is the distance, like from Dehradun. If it is coming in Dharchula, and it will take that to come to the destroying waves, shear waves here up to till this place about 30 seconds. So we have 30 seconds times only. So nothing will happen. You cannot do anything of that part.
So, when you really have 10-15 seconds, I mean, most places, at least here in the NCR, the last time I remember an earthquake happened, for good 10-15 seconds, we're just asking each other, earthquake aa raha kya? Can you really feel it? Were you able to feel the tremors?
Best way
those are
Japan,
actually precious seconds where one needs to, take some action. So I'm going to go across the board. I'll ask you first, Dr. Rohila, then I'm going to ask Dr. Bhatnagar. If one goes through, gets these tremors, I mean, instead of asking it, beg your pardon, looking at the fan, looking at the ceiling chandelier about whether a tremor is actually coming, what should we do, essentially?
I'll give you the example of Japan. Like there is a train passes there with a high speed, like 200, 300. And what they do basically, when earthquake come nearby of that, so the signal automatically go to the train, and train get stopped. There is no human intervention in that.
Yeah.
That's why this is the only success. Otherwise, human not having this much of time.
I understand the lifts can stop, the trains can stop, maybe surgeries that are happening inside hospitals, they can suddenly stop. People can run for cover. But that's exactly what I'm talking about. Dr. Bhatnagar, how often do you see? It happens in homes all the time. People are sitting in the drawing room discussing. Suddenly they feel tremors and then they waste 15-20 seconds just telling each other, can you feel the tremors? Is this actually an earthquake? In those 15-20 seconds, what exactly should they be doing instead? What are 3-4 steps that you can teach the viewers today?
I have already experienced this type of tumors. So in that condition, you will not use the lift, number one. Number two, you immediately you go down to the corner of the building as well and keep this hard top anything on their on your the head upper side and make this asan, your Koop Manduk Asan or any Asan,
Okay.
where you should save your head. Main is to save your head. And don't remain nearby where the big glasses are there, because maximum glasses broken and it damage your heart, your head and neck and all this thing. And more and prestigious is this, that don't make any panic and don't run and don't
Easier said than
run
done,
to-
Dr. Bhatnagar. I mean, when buildings are collapsing, how can one not panic at that moment? I mean, not everybody has that stability, but you've helped us understand what are 3-4 things that you can do. Run downside, stand at the corner of the building, don't use the lifts, use the staircase. But when the staircase also gives way, then what is one to do? I mean, I understand that, some things are destined to happen, but Venezuela's tragedy is again a reminder that earthquakes not necessarily kill people. It's the weak infrastructure and our preparedness. So the tectonic plates will keep doing their own job. We will also learn. Our science is also advancing at the same level. But are we moving fast enough to keep ourselves prepared and keep ourselves safe? That's, I think, the biggest question and the biggest takeaway here. Dr. Rohela and Dr. Bhatnagar, many thanks for taking out the time and helping us out with your insightful inputs on this particular story. A quick commercial breather here. Our second segment on that Mumbai local murder and why we're such a frustrated lot. A simple argument and one person never made it back home. That's coming right on the other side. Don't go anywhere.
New Birla Opus paint protects your furniture against scratches. Who believes that?
I believe.
I do. I do.
I do.
I do.
I do.
I do. I do.
I do. I do.
I do.
I believe it too. Everyone who's tried it believes it. New Birla Opus wood paint protects your furniture from scratches. That's why it's the new paint for a new era.
कुछ भी खा नहीं पा रहा हूँ, बहुत अपसेट हूँ। Take it, date not bites. No added sugar, प्रिजर्वेटिव के बिना। डेट्स, बादाम, पिस्ता, काजू और शहद से तैयार किया गया Lion Dates Nut Bites.
Lion Date Nut Bites.